Welcome to another episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I am going to preview the upcoming season 2 of the Ultimatum Marry or Move On. And what I'm going to do today is break down all of the new couples, give you my thoughts on some surface level stuff, and I'm going to make some early predictions on what I believe will happen with these couples. Very, very excited to dive into the Ultimatum. The show is filled with drama, as always, with these reality TV shows on Netflix. But don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, all the above. If your thoughts of this upcoming season of the Ultimatum, please do me a favor. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, hit that subscribe button so my new episodes drop in your box each and every week. I will be covering the Ultimatum in its full season. All 8 episodes are dropping, or the first 8 episodes are dropping on August 23rd, with episode 9 and 10, the finale and the reunion, dropping on August the 30th. I'm going to probably do a couple episode recaps here and there of maybe like the first 3, the next 3, and then the next 2, something like that. But be on the lookout for those. And for those of you that subscribe, or subscribe on any platform that you're listening on, that will drop right into your box. Without further ado, let's meet the couples of this year's Ultimatum. Let me get my share screen here. First and foremost, we have Kate and Alex. Kate is 28. She's the one giving the ultimatum. She's the travel nurse. And her significant other there, Alex, is 32. He's a software sales. Consider Kate and Alex a dating app success story. But will they go from hinge to hitch? After he relentlessly pursued her online, the two hit it off in real life and eventually chose to make things official. When Kate decided to take her nursing career on the road, Alex joined her on the journey. Since then, the two have leaned into the sense of adventure, traveling around the country together, embracing life's many twists and turns. While the couple is aligned over their love of the outdoor activities, they couldn't be more different when it comes to communication. Kat is conflict avoidant, preferring to defer to Alex instead of making her own decision. He, meanwhile, wants to be challenged by his partner, who feels like his equal and isn't afraid to speak their mind. Kat heard his concerns, so for once, she's putting her foot down about marriage and giving Alex the ultimatum. Okay? Can't imagine life. He can't imagine her life without Alex, but his logical and practical mindset has kept them from taking the plunge. Definitely, when you look at the picture, the demeanor there is kind of weird, right? You know what I mean? These two don't seem like, it's almost as if her face was photoshopped. I mean, I swear to you, if you look at this picture, for those of you watching the podcast, I'm breaking this down on the YouTube. You'll be able to see the pictures of the couples, or you can just look up the pictures while you are at home. But that being said, it's definitely giving me vibes that these two are going to end up together. Like, first prediction right out the gates, I think that no matter what happens along the way, these two are going to get engaged. Alex is going to hop in on one knee and propose to Kate at the end of this experience. That's my first prediction. Kate and Alex get engaged. Our next couple, let's see here. Let me see how I can get this one to pop up here. All right. Our next couple on the radar is Lisa and Brian. Lisa is a vice president of clinical services. She's 32. Brian is 29 and he's a financial analyst. Lisa and Brian aren't exactly strangers to ultimatums. After 6 months of casual hookups, Lisa locked down their one-time situationship by making Brian choose once and for all between love and friendship. He decided to exclusively commit to Lisa, and the two have been together for a year and a half. Brian loves how Lisa pushes him to be the best version of himself, while it means everything to Lisa to see her 10-year-old daughter bond with Brian. Now, the couple has arrived at another crossroads as they are at odds over a timeline for marriage and starting a family together. Lisa is issuing Brian the ultimatum because if he's not ready to propose, she's ready to move on. But Brian is hesitant to pop the question due to Lisa's jealousy issues and her tendency to turn disagreements into explosive arguments. Unless Lisa and Brian can learn to communicate effectively, their future together remains in serious jeopardy. Now, for those of you that have watched the trailer for the upcoming season of The Ultimatum, you have seen these two get quite explosive. And by I mean explosive, it gets pretty violent with some vulgar tendencies in the trailer. But that said, man, it's definitely interesting whenever you are together for a year and a half and you've got a 10-year-old daughter as well, that he is in the 10-year-old daughter's life. So I'm leaning that these two are going to get engaged. Man, that trailer is kind of creepy, right? Kind of throws you for a loop a little bit. Even in the trailer, like somebody's pregnant. Did somebody get knocked up in the process of the ultimatum? Like, what is going on? Does somebody get pregnant? Like, wouldn't that be crazy if while we're in these trial marriages, you know what I mean? Those 3-week trial marriages, somebody got knocked up and then like we're confused. We're not sure who the baby daddy is. Man, that would be some great television. But as far as Lisa Brian, 32-29, pretty simplistic picture here. Kind of inviting, I guess you could say. I'm going to say that these two get engaged. I'm 2 for 2 with engaging couples here. All right, let's move on to our third of 5 couples. Let's see here. We are going to take a look at Charge. All right, who do we have on the radar now? We have Ryan and James. That's Ryan with 2 N's and James. Ryan is a radiologic technician, while James is a grad student and research assistant. Both are 24 years old. Ryan is giving the ultimatum after nearly 7 years together. 7 years, bro. If you ain't engaged in 7 years, I don't think he's going to want to get married. Let's just be honest about that. But after nearly 7 years, Ryan and James are proof that high school sweethearts can stand the test of time. The former prom queen and football player started dating at 16 years old. So naturally, growing up has come with some major growing pains. As adults, they plagued with communication and trust issues, with only worsened while James finished his education in another state. Ooh, another state. Woo! Now Ryan is giving James the ultimatum because after all this time, she believes he should know for sure that she is his forever partner. Facts. Facts. I could read nothing else about this couple for the remainder of this entire thing and know that she's not lying. Look, I understand they're young, 24 years old, but 7 years together? Bro. And if not, Ryan doesn't want to waste another minute. James, meanwhile, is intent on starting their lives as a married couple on a stable ground. Before they walk down the aisle, he's hoping to find his first land a job secure enough to bring in the next chapter on their right foot. But if Ryan doesn't get a ring on her finger soon, their journey might be cut short. That being said, look at these. Look, this is definitely an interesting dynamic. We got 2 youngins here, 24 years old, very, very young. I like the dynamic. You could tell the former football player prom queen style relationship going on here. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these two are going to end up splitting at the altar. I just don't foresee it. I think that there's going to be Ryan. I don't know. If I look at James here, he looks like a guy that might be a little bit of a player. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's not. Again, just a little presumptive here. But with that being said, I think that these two aren't going to make it. I think first off, she's beautiful. So she's got options. She's going to have options after this or during this, whatever that looks like. But yeah, give me Ryan to I think, you know what? Let me throw a curveball here by saying that I think Ryan, who gave the ultimatum, is going to end up breaking James's heart at the altar. Let me flip-flop that for you guys. That's definitely one curveball that I like to throw here. So give me these two to not make it on the ultimatum. All right, so we're moving on to our fourth couple of the show. As I do this, let's see what we got. We got our fourth couple on the radar. Who do we have? Raya and Trey. Raya and Trey. A beautiful little couple here. Interesting pose. Like, what's up with the weird hand holding? Like, they're if you're not seeing the picture, basically they're standing kind of side by side. He has his arm around her waist. She has her right arm in front of like his the front of his body, and is holding her hand awkwardly in front of him. I've never seen anybody hold hands like that. I don't think I've ever seen. They're just opposite. They're same hands holding. Like, how do you hold hand? I don't know. It just looks weird. Maybe I'm looking at. I don't know. We're let's push forward, guys. Sorry. All right. Trey is 29, area manager at the paper mill. And Raya is a managing server. Okay, he's 29, she's 25. He is giving her the ultimatum. Trey couldn't believe his eyes when he first came across Raya's dating profile, assuming that she must be a catfish, but Raya and their love for one another turned out to be the real deal. As of now, they've been together for 2 years. After initially dating long distance, Raya moved into Trey's place where their connection strengthened and the couple settled into a beautiful partnership. But as time goes on, the romance in the relationship has been seriously lacking because Raya feels Trey has been slacking on date nights. He, meanwhile, wants to reassure Raya's sky-high expectation, which he thinks have been warped by social media. Now, Trey is giving Raya the ultimatum as he's eager to create a life that just like his parents who've been together for a little over 30 years. But growing up, Raya has never seen a happy, healthy marriage, so she can't say with 100% certainty that a wedding or a life with Trey is in her future. So the biggest misconception of life is one of them is when in relationships. Look, you see what you see when you're children. You know what I mean? Whether you've had a broken home or a positive home, or your parents have been together for 30 years. Sure, you want those same expectations of wanting to be with somebody for 30 years, but those are your expectations. Don't project your expectations on other people along the way. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't see the same things that you saw. And because of that, you can't force them to see something that you don't. Again, I just looking at this picture, I just can't get over the weird hand holding here. I'm weirded out by it. I don't know what it is about these two. Their hand look, just for the sheer fact of the weird hand holding, these two aren't going to make it. That's it. I've got nothing else to say about this couple other than I don't think they make it because they hold hands weird in this picture. Moving right along. I can't. I'm sorry, guys. All right. And our fifth and final couple on the show are Roxanne and Antonio, who look absolutely miserable in this photo together. Like, absolutely, positively miserable in this photo together. I'm very confused that I don't know why. Why do they look so miserable? I don't get it. I don't know. It's interesting. All right. So who are Roxanne and Antonio? Antonio is a freight broker, 30 years old, giving the ultimatum to Roxanne, 31, a founder and a CEO. Wow. She's got a strong background, founder and CEO. She's got the little, what is that called? The fringe, the little fringe on her dress. She looks good though. 31, she looks really good. He has 30, he looks good for 32. Like, definitely a good looking couple. These two would make good looking babies. All right, from the moment that Antonio laid his eyes on Roxanne, he knew that she was wifey material. She felt a strong connection as well, but the two couldn't get together until years later. Once they eventually reconnected over social media, it was clear to both of them that they were meant for each other. Now they've been together on and off for the last 4 years, and life has only gotten sweeter. On and off, but his life has only gotten sweeter. I'm confused by that statement here. For Antonio, marriage is natural next step in the relationship. The last thing on career-focused Roxanne's mind is planning a wedding. She first wants her forever partner to match her income and business ambition, and Antonio just hasn't met those expectations. While he admires her entrepreneurial spirit, Antonio wishes that she paid him more attention, particularly when it comes to demonstrating her affection. Now Antonio is giving Roxanne the ultimatum because he believes that that kind of pressure needs to be applied for her to seriously consider accepting a proposal. Flat out, these two aren't going to make it. You have two polar opposite people when it comes to being career driven. When you're career driven, as it seems like this Roxanne girl is, you have to have those expectations. You get that opinion that if you look at her, you get that vibe from her. She works hard, and there's nothing wrong. That's perfect. You know what I mean? A career driven woman CEO. She runs her own deal. Like, that's impressive. And I'm sure she looks at things in a certain light of, hey, I'm a founder, CEO. If I get married, if I start having babies, maybe I take a step back, and what I've worked for isn't going to be there anymore. Definitely two individuals that I don't think will have any problem finding somebody else on the show to connect with as far as looks wise. I think they're probably two of the more better looking people on the show. But overall, yeah, definitely don't think these two make it. I'm 100% on board with these two not making it. So I think we're going 3 for 2. Roxanne and Antonio not making it. Raya and Trey, they're not making it just because of the way they hold hands. Ryan and James don't make it. I just think that she's too good for him in the long run. Don't know. Never met him. Never watched the show. Wouldn't know. Lisa and Brian make it. And then Kate and Alex do make it. So we got 3 that won't make it, 2 that will make it. Folks, give me your thoughts. I want to know who you think will or will not make it from this season of The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On. It's definitely going to be interesting how everything unfolds. Folks, thanks for listening to another episode of the Love in Reality podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero, and I will be covering the entirety of season 2 of The Ultimatum on the Love in Reality podcast. You can find me on YouTube by just searching Love in Reality or just searching Ricky Valero. And you can search for it everywhere you listen to podcasts by searching Love in Reality. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys soon.